Welcome to Free Fall RC Podcast. Hey, welcome to another episode of Free Fall RC Podcast. I'm Kevin, and here with me is Andy.
Hey, now.
And that's it. We're 50% of the show today.
What the hell, man?
What the hell, man?
What the hell? Well, we knew Steve was going to be gone because he's in New York.
Eating bagels, pizza.
Eating bagels, pizza, Starbucks coffee.
Pizza bagels.
Pizza bagels, yeah. Stepping in poop, I'm sure. I'm sure he stinks like pot, and that's only from being in New York, not that he smokes any.
Right.
Wink.
Yelling. He's flipping people off on the street.
But, and Iaen has not answered our text messages. I don't know. I suspect that Andy has finally pissed him off.
I think he, I don't know what happened. Sorry, Iaen. I may have accidentally run him off the show. Which was not my intention. I know.
What the hell, Andy?
Oh shit! So we're gonna need a lot of support from the soundboard. But we told Iaen if he feels in the mood to jump on.
We don't know where he is. He's
right.
He's unavailable. We can't get a hold of him.
Yeah, he's MIA at the moment.
Yeah.
But the show must go on.
We're here.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like that meme, the ship must flow downhill.
Just you and me, buddy.
Yep.
Ready for a train wreck?
I'm ready. So this is episode 326. 326. Size matters?
It does?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Didn't know it was that type of show.
I hope it doesn't matter.
Well, from all the women I've talked to, and I've talked to quite a bit, and usually the last sentence I have with them is the answer to that question, but that's not has nothing to do with this show this week.
Right. Okay.
So there's two of us. Who wants to go first? How's your week been?
I'll go first because mine's short.
All right.
I have not done anything RC related again.
Jeez.
But I did finish planting corn yesterday, which means I'm halfway done with spring planting season. I still got beans to plant. But I'm getting there. A few more days. Just a few more days.
Cool.
Soon, Kevin, soon.
Soon, very soon.
Very soon. Very soon I'll have lots of time to build helis. Do other things, go to events.
I think I've heard this song somewhere, sung by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What the hell, man?
What the hell, man?
So what have I been doing this week?
So, Kevin, what have you been doing this week, or what did you do last week?
Last week I had a great weekend. It was really cool flying on Saturday. I flew with the one and only Steve Shaw at our club in Port St. Lucie. It was a great day. There was like zero wind, and I brought 2 helicopters and 2 planes with me.
Sweet.
And
which planes?
The extra 300 or the 300 extra or whatever, and the Mamba 10, the biplane. So the biplane and like the sport plane.
Right.
That Mamba 10, man. An amazing plane. I got to fly it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
no
that.
Wind.
How are you liking that thing with the Aura 8 and stuff? You digging it?
Yeah, my first flight, I was like, and maybe it's because I haven't flown planes that much, just on and off, and not as much as I've been flying helis. But my first flight was like kind of spongy, and I'm like, But then the second flight was a lot better. I didn't do anything to it. Just I guess got used to the expo that was in it.
Yeah.
And had a lot of fun flying it. I was doing some knife edging with it, which is not incredibly easy with that. It's a little bit of a challenge. but doing some inverted stuff, just flying around, flipping it over here and there, just doing different things and working on just my landings. I kind of come in like a foot off the ground and drop it a lot of times instead of flying the plane to the ground. So
right.
I was concentrating on that, and that was a lot better.
Yeah, cool.
That was fun, but it was freaking hot, man. It was starting to get pretty hot, like 95, 100 degrees.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was getting up there.
Wow.
And I saw one guy throw his plane into the ground, and that was about it. Saw a couple of people I haven't seen in a while, and they're I don't know if you know this about Florida, but there's a lot of old people, and
Oh, really?
they sometimes go in and out of the hospital. So I wasn't sure about this one guy, if I was going to see him again, type of thing. And
right.
And then, they come down here with a lot of money and they buy crazy shit like scooters, and they go out speeding all over, and there's no helmet law. And yeah, you can kind of.
Because that's exactly the thing some old 80-year-old dude needs is a scooter and no helmet.
Right. Right.
30 miles an hour down the sidewalk.
It's population control.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, jeez. But it was good to see a couple of guys that I haven't seen in a while. But dude, I came out with the Oxy 5 like shot out of a cannon, and I threw down a great flight. I had so much fun, and I kept it in the tight box, man. And I was doing a lot of stuff lower than I normally do it. Like I was doing tail down TikToks, and I was going like I was making a box out of it, kind of going like right and up and over and coming back down, and just moving it all over the place. And then I kind of stayed a mistake or two high to do some 4-point TikToks, but I was doing those and just whipping that Oxy 5 around to the point where I was like, man, I think I could use some more head speed and pitch, or I don't know.
Nice.
But I was having a lot of fun with that heli, man. I know I say it almost every week, but that freaking heli, dude, I haven't done a damn thing to it either. I just take it out and fly it every week after week.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing rips. I really enjoy that heli. And I had the 690 with me, but my packs are running low. I gotta see what I have left and what's good, and maybe put another pack together. And so I got a couple flights on that, and I was just one of the flights I was just doing autos, man, for like half the flight, and just I can auto from my right hand side really good. Put it down in front of me. From the left is really difficult for me. I don't know why. I got to start doing that more.
Yeah. I'm the same. Well, I can auto from both directions, but I'm definitely more comfortable coming from right to left. Feels better for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the turning. I don't know, but dude, I'm like putting it down right in front of me, like 15 feet out or whatever, right where I took off, and it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying that model too, and I was banging that thing around quite a bit. Start out in like 1400 head speed and try and do just the stuff that I know how to do, like TikToks and Puro flips, and then move on to a higher head speed.
Yeah.
And I almost tried inverted auto again, but I didn't. I should have, but I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
You
maybe
can do
soon.
it.
Soon, very soon. Yeah, I know. I've done it. I just haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
And then, Steve was out there. Steve's flying his Black Thunder and zooming around up, down, all over. And he was trying to get more of that F3C maneuvers down. And I took some video. I think I sent it to you guys.
Yeah, you sent us a video. So how was it watching that?
That was great. Take any helicopter video that you ever seen on YouTube and slow it down to like 0.25, speed, 0.25 or whatever. And that's exactly what it's like.
You're cracking me up with your commentary.
Yeah, I thought I saw grass growing at one point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty humorous.
But he's trying. I don't know why he's in this mood to do it, but I mean he's trying it.
Why not?
So why not? Right? Yeah. Hey, do it. Whatever makes you happy with your hobby, dude. Just do it. Yep. Except build something, damn it. He started to talk about the stuff he was going to get together by the next day, Sunday. He said, "You're going to be out here tomorrow?" No, of course not, because that's when I'm going to have all these airplanes. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're no longer my boss now, so I'm going to start, like, ripping on you. pretty good.
Well,
and
it's not that he's not building things. Like nobody cares about that. I've got I got boxes all over the place. I've got this Spectre V2 been sitting on the table for months now.
Yep.
That's not the thing that's funny. The thing that's funny is he is constantly telling you how he's going to have it next week, next event, tomorrow. Like he's convinced that everything's going to be finished in like the next 3 days, but then nothing is ever finished ever. So that's the part I find humorous. Not that he's not doing it. I get that. I'm lazy. Also, it's the fact that he constantly tells us all the time how everything is going to be done next week.
It's true.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, and we could probably go back in some of the voicemails from like last year, and he's talking about the same thing. Yep.
Every time there's a big event coming up, whether it's IRCHA or Winter Bash or RCHO, 2 weeks before that, he's going to have a whole list of things to bring to the event. Never happens.
Nope. So, with that in mind,
I think Steve Shaw's going to quit the show too.
I think so. With that in mind, somebody gave him a balsa plane this weekend that they had like crashed. It's a P-51 like Hangar 9. It's a giant like 60-inch. Nice plane, nice looking plane. I saw a picture of it. It needs a little work. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, you need one more thing to do?
He needs another project.
Like, oh my God, man. His wife is a saint.
Yeah, she's really a sweetheart.
Saint Dorothy. Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, man. But it was definitely a good weekend. Like I said, it got a little hot though, man. Towards like 3:00, I was like, I gotta go seek out some AC, man.
Dude, it's not even June yet, and it's already getting up to 100 degrees.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's what it says in the Jeep. You know, Jeep's out in the sun. It's black Jeep.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. But yeah, you brought up your Spectre V2 and what's going on with that, and he's been asking me what's going on with the Miata. I said, well, George is getting ready to drive by Steve's house and just pick it up.
Pick it up.
Because he said, you know, whenever Steve's done with it, and he's always asking me about Iaen's Concept 30 or whatever else Iaen's been working on.
Yeah, a Robo Shuttle.
A Robo, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. You got to ask those guys.
Yeah, why is he asking you?
I don't know, because he's asked you guys in the, you know, in this.
We just make fun of him.
Voicemail. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right. So you want to move it on?
Yeah.
I think that's all I did.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna go the main topic. Size matters.
Yeah.
Or does it?
Well,
it kind of does, really. I mean, who are we kidding?
Yeah, I mean, the people that say size doesn't. Well, I was gonna go down a road. I'm not going down that road.
Yeah, no, don't. Never mind. So
that was the wrong road.
I what brought this about is I was wondering if we'd ever talked about our favorite sizes of helis, which is kind of going to be a weak topic since there's only two of us. I kind of wanted to go around the table, except for Steve. I didn't want to hear from Steve, so that's why I picked to do this tonight when he wasn't here.
What the hell, Andy?
I'm sure he'd say 700.
Yeah.
Size.
Of course.
I'm sure he'd say SAB size.
Whatever's the newest SAB model, that will be his favorite size. Whether it's a 580, the new 420, that'll probably be his favorite for a while.
Oh man, Steve's gonna leave the show next.
I know. I'm just gonna keep going. It's just me here talking to myself.
Don't worry, Andy. I won't leave you.
I was just sitting here thinking, I wonder what I'd have to do to get you to rage quit on me.
I don't think if I even knew, I wouldn't tell you.
I don't think it's possible. I think you just laugh at me, calling me a dumbass.
Yeah. No, or I'd probably agree.
Which is
with
the
you.
appropriate response, let's be honest.
You'd be like, you don't know what you're doing. You can't even talk. I don't know how you do a podcast for 5 years. And I'd be like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Tell me something I don't know.
I know. I can't believe anybody else listens to this shit.
Well, that's funny because you're probably you're the one that's the best spoken on here. You got that radio voice.
Mm. That's why
I
I'm in
mean, you
IT.
say stupid things, but you got a good voice while you're saying it.
Right. That's all you need.
Yeah, good voice and a lot of references from the 80s and 90s.
Any politician will tell you that's all you need.
Yeah, just
Good
gotta be
voice.
full of shit and a good voice.
Right. You don't have to know what you're talking about.
All right, size.
All right.
Favorite size. What is your favorite size helicopter, Kevin?
Wow.
I
And I have
must
to
know.
pick one, right?
Well, what's your favorite? Like your most favorite, if you could just think of any size you've ever had or imagined, what would be the favorite? And then I want the reasons why it's your favorite.
Wow. Well, just going on size alone, like not going on like how the model flies or
No,
well, I mean
no,
like because setup is one thing too.
no
Um,
size. Like if you had, I mean, this is possible, but say you had the same model, but it was in 4 different sizes.
right. I would
What?
definitely have to say the larger one. It's like a 700 size,
Yeah,
690, 700.
yeah.
Only because I really enjoy the floatiness and the auto rotations that I can do with it. I mean, it's larger. I mean,
So
I
you're
love,
saying bigger is better.
yeah. And
Okay.
not going on like I love how the Oxy 5 flies in the setup, and the 690 is a close second to that, but I'd have to say I like that size better because like I said, the autos are so much better with it,
Yeah.
and it just the maneuvers themselves. If I get into trouble, I can just like put the collective,
Have more
mid
time.
stick. Yeah. You have more time for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree. That would be my favorite size as well. I tend to go to the little bigger 700, like 713, 717, something like that. But definitely the 700 size range. I
No,
think
I've been
it's a very good like there's bigger helis or 750s, 800s. They
right.
get very expensive to buy blades, and the power setups cost more. The motors got to have a bigger ESC. Batteries, you really want to do it good, you need to be 14S. I mean, if you're rocking an 800 and want to 3D it. And then when you get smaller, they're less expensive and in a way easier. You're talking about single pack 550s or 500s and cheaper, but they, in my opinion, don't fly as well as the 700. The 700 just flies really good. Like you said, you have the hang time. It's good for autos. You can slow it down and be very smooth and graceful. It's a really good size. It's no wonder it's probably the most popular big heli.
Yeah, and I've been told by quite a few people that 690's a smaller of the seven. It's the small 700.
It's a small 700.
Right. But I don't even know what the hell. Like, all right, the blades that I use are like $100. If I go to an event, I can usually pick them up
Right.
$100 or 120, 150 for maybe VTX or something. But what do 800 blades go for? Are they like
They're
double
like
that?
$200, I think.
Wow.
I don't know. I, I really shouldn't say because I haven't looked in a while. But
Well, I know that what's his name? Ian's friend flies that 800.
yeah.
Keith Williams. But yeah, I mean now you're talking 14S and what
Yeah, you
200
kind of
something
need a big
ESC.
motor and a big ESC. Like I
Yeah.
fly my 700s on a 130 12S, 130 with a 4525 motor. It's all kind of just middle of the range stuff. It doesn't really require, for my flight style, doesn't require a huge power setup.
I'm still on a 120 Castle that came with the 690 when I bought it used. Chris Ryber's probably
Castle.
like, really? Yeah, that was like our
The hell?
first. I bought it from Anthony Garcia, and that was our first fun fly, the free fall RC, like first one. Like 2015, 16, was it? Yeah. That thing's
Yeah.
got to be,
So,
6 years old that I have it.
oh yeah.
So yeah, still flying the 120. It's got a external BEC on it too. And
So rail 806 blades 195.
oh damn.
Switch 753s are 181. Switch 813s 187. So they're all in like the 180 to $200 range. Whereas you can usually pick up 700s for what, like around $120. I
Yeah.
know that's not a big, big price difference, whatever. But when you add up the motor, the 7S packs, the bigger ESC, it adds up.
Yeah. You figure $100 for the more for the motor, $100 more for the ESC, and
Yeah.
$100 more for the blades. Yeah.
But it's not just price. I mean, obviously, or 500s, 550s would be my favorite.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a combination. It flies big, but it's not as expensive as 800. Now,
Well,
all this being said, I'm going to build that Protos as probably an 800. So maybe my opinion will change down the road when I think it flies amazing or doesn't. I don't know. Right now, I think 700 is the sweet spot.
yeah, and that's why I took time to think about it because, week after week I go out and fly to Oxy 5 and really enjoy it and really throw down it. I have so much fun with it. But then when I thought about like size wise,
Yeah. I guess a better way to put it would be if you could only have one heli, what size would you pick?
yeah, that would definitely be the 690
Yeah.
or 700, whatever,
Yeah.
that size.
Yeah, it's a 700. I mean, it's a small 700, but it's a 700.
I mean, I still got the Glogo up north in Jersey. I still have that Align V1 Nitro up there, which I flew that. Not that I could tell a difference between that and a 690 size,
Right.
when I was flying it years ago. But
It's
that
basically
also
the same.
had That also had a lot of really good characteristics to it.
What about different sizes for different things? You put any thought to that?
Well, yeah. Now you're talking like my weekend usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 5. And maybe I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to the Oxy 5 and like the shine wore off at like the first, like I was like, oh crap, I want to be careful, I don't want to crash it, like the first weekend maybe. And then after that I was like, oh, I'm beating the crap out of this thing, and it's been that way for years now.
Yeah.
And so for that type of stuff, for me getting harder with the 3D and trying, smacking stuff around and just doing different things. And I know it's probably not the right way to go. I know, like we were saying, you get more hang time with the 690, but I don't know, the setup on the 690 for me, it has been different for a long time. I'm more comfortable with the Oxy 5 and can get it out of hard situations quicker.
Yeah. You probably got more time on it, wouldn't you think? Or
Yeah,
I mean, you got
absolutely.
more flights on it than the 690.
Yeah, each weekend it's probably 2 to 1, flying that versus the 690.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do it really anymore because I fly like a pansy, so I don't crash as often. But for a while, I was really digging the 500 size as for practice and just getting a lot of stick time because it was cheap to crash.
Yeah.
500, 550 is it flies really well, but it's less expensive. Usually can run 6S. And I've at times put tons of flight on 380 and had a couple Protos 380s just to fly them all the time. I mean, they were great. Stupid Windows. They were absolutely great for practice because I would sometimes like crash, like a really weak crash, not like plow it in. I could go pick it up, look it over, and then take off and fly again. They're just super durable. And
yeah,
parts were inexpensive.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I went back and forth with Oxy 3 for a while. Like do I want to start flying that again? And then I said, I got all these parts, I might as well. And then I got all these batteries, started going through those, and I was enjoying that to the point where I ordered a couple more batteries for it. And then the last time I crashed it, I haven't fixed it since then. But that's if I get that together and get that going, that could easily be a great like after work heli to just do some practicing on, because I have an
Yeah,
area
sure.
that's less than, like, I could walk there. It's probably half a mile from my house here that I could go to. It's I don't know what the building's being maintained, but I think it was an older like medical center, and they have a huge like area out back where I could just park and fly, a
Yeah.
couple flights on Oxy 3. I could probably even
Yeah,
fly the
sure.
Oxy 5 over there, but if I could get the Oxy 3 going,
Mhm.
I'd feel less intimidated if somebody showed up, oh, what are you doing here? I'm flying my little heli or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, they're not very intimidating or imposing, a little Oxy
No.
3. Yeah. What about what size would you recommend? Okay, not so like a beginner, but not an absolute beginner that's never seen a helicopter. Say they've flown a 230 or a blade heli of some sort, maybe have some experience with airplanes, but they're kind of wanting to move up. They want to build a kit. What size would you do that? Would you go ahead and build a 700? Would you build a 550, 380?
Yeah, that's a huge
There's no
open-ended
right
question.
answer for this
No.
either. Everyone you ask would have a different thought. But what's your
Well,
opinion?
the way that Jamie Burkholder did it is similar to the way that I did it, where like I started with the 180 and gradually worked my way up through like the sizes. Didn't feel comfortable flying the 570 until like a month before I sold it. And he did well. I didn't practice my orientations as much as he did, but I kind of got feel and got comfortable with the model before I moved up. And I would recommend doing that. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the smaller ones. Like, it's so hard to say though, because when you look back, when you're in that stage of getting better and moving up, you're like, yeah, larger is the better. But I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad the way I started. But now looking back, you're like, well, they're so twitchy, those damn little Oxy 3s. Like, you're going to be plowing them in it every weekend. Is
Mhm.
a 450 a good size? I don't know. I would tend to say like the 500 size. I would tend to say is probably, it depends on how big your balls are too.
Yeah. Yeah, my thought on that, I kind of like the 380 for that. Like
Okay.
the Goblin Buddy or the Protos 380 or the Oxy 4 or
Yeah.
I guess the Oxy 4 Max. Because you can tone those down. They're not as twitchy as an Oxy 3 or
Or
a
two.
Fireball or a 2 or something like that. But they're not as intimidating as a 550 or even a 500. So I kind of think that's a good, like if you're to build a first kit,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong if you're capable and confident in your abilities to build and wrench and not kill yourself. There's no reason you can't go to a 550 or even a 700. I mean, plenty of people have done it. But the danger factor of a 380 is considerably less than a 700. It's less intimidating as well. As a
Yeah.
first build, if you think maybe you're not 100% confident in your building abilities, you may have messed something up or did something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, have you been flying that 230 or whatever you started with for
Mm-hmm.
a year? Are you good? You good on the orientations? Have you been simming a lot? What are your chances? Like, because I've seen, like, I did it myself. I used to fly behind my head. Mike D, I've seen him do it. Even Steve Shaw, I've seen him do it a few times. Um, even now. So I mean, when you're a beginner, like, there's always that chance,
Yeah.
that it can get away from you. And with a larger heli, man, it's just gonna.
Yep.
There's larger momentum, larger weight.
Yep. More expensive, more
Yeah.
damage to yourself or others or other property. if it hits it.
It depends on like who's if you're completely by yourself, what do? You want to build a kit, or if you have friends that can help you, with the setup. It depends on like how tight your flying field is,
Yeah.
and how comfortable you are with the larger models,
Yeah. There's no right answer. We're just
No.
kind of chatting to give our opinions.
And I think that the comfortability factor comes in after you've got a lot of experience with that model. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into play when you start flying a larger model or something, or newer model to you. Then you're like, is it the model? Is it my setup? Is it me? You don't know, and you won't know what to look out for if something does happen either later on.
Sure.
Like what's that sound or it's doing weird things.
Right. Yeah, there really is that saying, you don't know what you don't know. when you're brand new, you don't realize what you don't know.
Right. Very true.
It takes time and to build that experience up.
Yeah, because that's what led me to be more comfortable with the models. Like, flying it every weekend and seeing that large thing that used to, I don't want to say it like this, but seeing that large model that used to intimidate me coming at me or whatever, or, doing different things, you get to know that it's not as sketchy as it looks the first time.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's a confidence. You build a confidence in yourself as well as a confidence in the model. It's not going to do something weird or fall apart or explode or whatever.
Yeah. So what do you think about these new, like the OMP models and the Logo 200? I don't know if have you flown any of those?
A little bit, yes. I have an OMP. I had some trouble with it, so I just kind of pushed it to the side. I'll fix it soon, very soon.
Jeez.
I think they're great, honestly. I don't personally particularly care for them. I don't care for that size or flying that size. But I'm also spoiled in that I have unlimited flying area behind my house. And I realize a lot of people don't have that. So if you have a small backyard or something and you can fly an M2 or even an M1, I think it's absolutely fantastic because you can really get a lot of stick time and gain a lot of experience with a very durable, very inexpensive to fix model. So I think they're fantastic in that regard.
Yeah, originally I was going to say something different. I was going to say I think those models are more for the guy that has his orientations down and is like got a couple years in and wants to work on stuff like maneuvers.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I've kind of found that in myself where, at least with the Oxy 3, like now that I went back to flying that, like there was a couple of orientations or a couple of in and out of orientations that I was less comfortable with that the first weekend I flew it, just working on that, I was like, okay, now it's more comfortable. I kind of know what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you bring that up, I guess I wasn't thinking about a complete beginner with one. I was more thinking about a more experienced pilot using it as a practice bird.
Practice tool.
I'm not sure that it would be the greatest for a newbie because they are twitchy and they're faster. I mean, It's just physics. It's a small little bird. It's going to be a little faster. So I think it would be good to have some experience, know your orientations at least, be able to sport fly around a little bit before. Not to say that you can't get one and learn to hover with it, but it's definitely easier to learn to hover with a larger bird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Steve would agree to that, though. I mean, because I think he's used it as a tool over the last year and
and look how much
benefit out of it.
Yeah, look how much gains he made, like how much progress.
Right.
You can see in his flying that all those flights on that M2 brought him up to another level. I mean, it's right there to see. Watch videos or any of us that have seen him fly like 2 years ago and then flying now, he's considerably better. And I think he would attribute a good portion of that to that M2 and the stick time. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. What else can we touch on about size? Bueller.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, we touched on batteries and different sizes that are going to require different battery types or different battery sizes,
Yeah,
milliamp
sure.
sizes.
Sure. Yeah, the bigger you go, the more expensive the batteries are, the more expensive you get. I mean, all of it's more expensive, obviously, when you go up in size.
So is there a size you would stay away from? Is there like, I didn't fall victim to it, but I know a lot of people did that early, was it the 120, the Blade 120, 130?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a couple of those actually. Well, I had a 130, the 3D model, and they had this. Did you ever see the Red Bull? It was the Red Bull aerobatic helicopter.
Yep.
They had a Blade 130, but it had a 4-blade head, and it was in a scale Red Bull fuselage.
Okay.
And I had a couple of those, and I absolutely loved them just to fly around. I don't know if this was back when I was a beginner, so I wasn't a great pilot, but something about that scale bird, I could see it and I could sport fly it around and do circuits and stuff. And I had a blast with it. And I had a 130, the normal 130 3D model, and I actually flew it quite a bit as well. It wasn't the greatest. Like once you crashed it good, it was kind of hard to get it to going well again.
Right.
But I remember putting several flights on one and never having too much trouble with it. I know some people spent tons and tons of money on it, but maybe I accidentally avoided that trap because I don't remember it being that bad, honestly.
One of my first helis was this is like if you're complete noob, but this wouldn't be like what we're talking about coming off of like the 230 Smart or the 230 V2, into something as your first like larger collective pitch. But I had I had a couple of different. I had the coax ones, of course, which that to me that doesn't teach you anything. It's just a fun little thing to fly around and.
It doesn't teach you a whole lot, but it can kind of help with like left is right, right is left if it's coming back towards you type of thing. But
yeah, I guess
teach you much. But I wish I had $1 for every one person in our hobby that got started with a coaxial.
Oh, sure.
Bought from the mall or from Blade or whatever, and then you fall into this deep hole of RC heli addiction. I'm sure that's happened many times.
Or $20 or $30 SEMA 107 is what I had.
Yep.
And then I bought a larger one of that and tried to find parts for it, and it was ridiculous. And I mean larger, it was maybe like an inch bigger.
Yeah.
And no, you couldn't find any parts.
No, you can't. Once it breaks, you just throw it in the trash and get another one.
And the funny thing about those is they're optical, like they're infrared.
Right.
2.4 megahertz, but they're infrared or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember flying it outside, and it gets like 20 feet away and just drops. Yeah. Because it loses that signal.
Yeah.
But then after that, I bought it one time and it was cheap. It was like $60. And it was a 4-channel heli that was pretty small. I remember the model number like off the top of my head. It was like an 8853 or something. And it was a weird Chinese name.
Walkera or V Hobbies or
it was like Q. It started with a Q. It was like Q Daya or something like that.
Okay.
And I got it on X Heli back when that was a thing, and then that thing I actually was able to get some of the parts I broke off of that, but it was this little tiny. It was, a little tiny toy that I actually brought to work with me, and I flew it around the office, and everybody was amazed, and even I was even amazed because I was doing like some nose in stuff back then. And then I bought the double horse 9116 or whatever model it was, and that was another one that was like $80, and that was like a 250 size, and that I used to bring to the field and actually fly that around. That wasn't infrared.
Mm-hmm.
It was actual radio. It was very cheap. Like the board itself was really sketchy, and I think it had 2 servos to do everything collective,
Right.
and
Right.
because it was fixed pitch. But
Mhm.
on a nice calm day or in a big warehouse, I'd flown it once. It was actually pretty good to fly. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it because, like I said, it was super super cheap. But I did. I flew that for a while. That taught me a little bit more. Like when you can get that like the SEMA one, the coax models are like point and shoot. You like turn it in the right direction, and then the tail
Yeah.
raises up to move it. This
Mhm.
is actually like you could go sideways. You could do the 4 different
Mhm.
orientations, upright orientations, 4 different movements.
Right. Yeah, that's how I got started. Well, yes, that's how I initially got started. I think I've spoke about this before, but I bought my brother one of those SEMA 107s for Christmas one year. So he gets that, opens it, and then of course we're both playing with it all day.
Right.
And then I don't know if we broke it or can't remember. But anyway, it progressed into okay, well let's find out like an actual good one. And that took us to the Blade let's see, what was it? MCX. It was a coaxial micro, that small size,
Right.
but it was 4 channels, so it had an actual swash plate that would move the blades. You go forward, backwards, left, right, and then the rudder would change the speed of the rotors. So it didn't have a tail. So we ended up with a couple of those. We flew those around and would break them and could buy parts from like the Hobby Town or wherever. And then got the MSR, which is a heli the same size as that, but fixed pitch. And I mean, when we got those, like, oh, this high performance now. We can really book it around the house. And I think we've got up to the 120. There was a 120, which was a fixed pitch heli, and I don't remember the size of the blades. Maybe they were 120s. That would make sense, but I
Yeah.
can't remember. It kind of sucked, honestly, at that size getting up to that, because I mean it's it's like 12 inches long or something. It's getting up to a decent size, like an Oxy 2, but it's fixed pitch and it just kind of sucked. Like it would turn good one direction and would not turn
Right.
the other way, stuff like that. Do the toilet bowl thing if you're trying to hover, where it just goes around in a circle.
Right. And that's where I thought that it's me flying. At
Yeah.
that point, you don't know any better.
And then let's see, that would have probably been around. Shit, what would that have been? Like 2009, 8 or 9, somewhere around in there. And then kind of got out of it and had a kid and all that stuff, and didn't really get back into modeling to 2014, and started with planes at that time. And then when obviously got into helis and got into collective pitch, and it was all downhill from there.
Right.
I don't even know what we were talking about now.
Just I
That
brought
was
up
a
like
long
sizes
tangent.
sizes you wouldn't want to like recommend.
Sizes
or
I would not recommend.
just models or sizes you wouldn't recommend, like
I
like
don't
that.
know, man.
I don't know if I would have flown any of those if I'd have known better. I'm kind of glad I did.
Yeah, but what about the
Sort
experience?
of.
What about the experience you gained on the way?
Well, I
There
kind of
is,
wasted a lot of time with
well,
the one fixed
maybe,
pitch when I could have been flying.
maybe, but you didn't know.
But
One
there was
thing
no Oxy 3 at that point either. There was
well,
no Oxy
true,
3. There was
true.
no,
There was like the Align 250, which is really sucked. So,
which I had one. Yeah, it was
oh, did
terrible.
you have one of those? They
Oh
said
my
they were
God,
terrible.
man.
I've never flown one, but I heard they were bad.
I couldn't tell you how they flew because I only got 30 seconds out of the battery. The battery was like 800 milliamp, and it would only last me like 30, 40 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
One thing I would recommend against doing, which I don't even know if this is a thing anymore, but I never did this, thank goodness. But on the forums, people would get these little helis, like the little blade helis, They would start breaking things, and they would start putting aluminum upgrades, the micro heli and the links and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, that broke. Let me put aluminum swash plate, and aluminum head, and this and that. And pretty soon it gets so heavy it will barely even fly. You've just spent like $100 on this $30 heli, and it
Yeah.
still sucks. It actually sucks worse than stock. So I would recommend against upgrades for a little small micro heli. You don't need it. It actually makes it worse.
Yeah, thank God I never went down that road. I started to do that with the Blade 180, that
Mm-hmm.
Q whatever it was, QCX or something.
Yeah, so 180.
180. I had the fuselage. I started to upgrade some of the parts, like you said, when you broke them,
Mm-hmm.
and it still flew okay. I mean, there was a point in time where I was like, I can't see any reason to fly anything else because I would have like a lot of fun with that model. And then the Oxy 3 came out, and I had good luck with the 450, the Beast X. That was probably a turning point for me, like when I actually got something, and that was all Steve. Like Steve helped me out with that because he had one, and just getting that Beast X going, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I didn't waste my $200 on eBay, this stupid thing. I finally got something going.
Yeah, when I got into collective pitch helis, I was flying planes at the time, like foamies, I got it was on sale, like a deep discount sale, at MCPX, which I can't remember what size blade that is, like 120 maybe, or 100 or something. No, probably
Okay.
less, more like 80 or 90. So I got that. Then I got the 130X, and then the NCPX, which is the tiny little micro. It's the tiny one, kind of the
Yeah.
size of those ones we were talking about before, the coaxial ones, but it was collective pitch. And then I got a 300X, which had 245 millimeter blades and had the Beast X and the actual real servos and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, this thing is huge. I'll never
Right.
need anything bigger than this. Cut to like 2 weeks later, I get a 450X. It's like, this thing is it's scary. Never need anything bigger than this.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, and it's a Line 500, and then the Gowie X5, and then, oh, let's get a 700. If I I don't know how many times I said I'm never going any bigger. This is plenty big enough. Does everything I need. But I went from the tiny to a 700 in like 6 months.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was like 2 years for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Probably. Well, I had the larger helis,
It
like
might have took me a
570.
year, actually. It took me a little while to justify spending that much money on a
Right.
toy.
Yeah.
Now I just don't give a shit. I was like, I want that one. But back
Yeah.
then, I had to feel like I had to justify it for some weird reason. I don't know.
Yeah, because it does seem expensive, especially when you're flying planes and they're like flight test ones and they're costing like $4.
Right, right. I'm spying. Well, even like nice E-flight planes is like $300.
Yeah.
Wasn't like now I gotta
$2,000.
go spend
Yeah.
700 and then buy all the electronics on top of that.
Yeah.
At the time, it seemed frivolous, a waste of money, but I did it anyway. And now it's a waste of money, but it's not frivolous because I'm in a hobby and I made friends.
Right.
And then eventually made them mad, so they left.
Supposed to win-win. Jeez.
I guess. All right. Got anything else, Kevin?
No, not really.
Well, I would invite our listeners to post on our Facebook page. What is your favorite size?
Yeah.
Or send us an email. Send us an email. We'll read it on the next episode.
Yeah, and also maybe say what size you started with and went through, or
Yeah.
what size you'd stay away from. I don't know.
Absolutely. I love reading those comments and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we got next?
We
Tech
got
tip.
Ian's tech tip, but Ian is not here. So we have Kevin. What have you been watching?
All right. Nice. And Steve's not here either to shut me
No,
down.
so we can just go on and on and on the rest of the night. Steve's not here to
Right.
roll his eyes and look bored.
Yeah. We're saving him money because he's not on the internet buying something right now.
We're going to talk about sci-fi and comic book movies for the next 45 minutes.
So I watched this freaking show. I don't know what it's on because I get my stuff kind of a roundabout way. That's me being nice.
To call that pirates, but okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm a modern day pirate, I guess.
You're a rogue.
Yeah. I don't know if I probably did talk about this show called Arcane, the animated show. If you get a chance, check that out. It's just the animation is amazing, and it's like 3D animation.
Arcane.
Yeah, it's pretty
you
cool.
You can't tell me where it is, so how am I going to find it?
Shit. It's a good question.
Kevin.
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's even hard to find on Netflix.
Okay.
It's
like an anime show, or?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty good concept and pretty cool. I just I'm a sucker for good characters. Like, you put characters that I like in a show, it could be the weakest plot point, the dumbest show. Like, I used to watch this show, oh man, 1,000 years ago. It was called Space Raiders, I think, or Space Rangers, I think it was called. They only had like 5 episodes. That's how bad the show was. There was like a mechanic. It was kind of like Firefly or that kind of show.
Okay, yeah,
like
kind of low budget,
like
sort of.
Yeah, but like just characters interacting. They had this one like alien dude that would eat people, and they had a hot chick and a like a dwarf mechanic, and then they had like the captain, and it was goofy, and it was it was really low budget, but I just like the character interaction.
I like that they didn't even do a season. They did like 5. I'm like, this 5 episodes. Quit.
Right, 5 episodes. They're like, are you kidding me? I'm losing money on this shit.
Oh damn.
And then they pulled the plug. But movie-wise, this week, like I was saying before the show, I watched the next Venom movie, which was pretty cool. Which I kind of thought was, I don't know, I like the first one. It's a different experience for me now, watching these movies for the first time and not having a martini in my hand. So I can actually watch the movie and pay attention, and I'm not like passed out through like the third act.
Yeah.
Wake up. But yeah, so I watched that, and then I watched that movie Old, which I didn't know if I was going to want to watch that, but it kept coming up, and it seemed interesting.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching this movie, and if anybody doesn't know, it's like a beach that people go to, and they age really quickly, like within, like basically their lifespan is almost within a day, like maybe a little bit longer, like every year's passing like in half an hour or whatever. So I don't know, something weird like that, which wouldn't equal a day for your lifespan, but
let's not get bogged down with math. Let's
not get bogged down with math. But halfway through this show, and there were some massive plot holes in it. The effects were cool, and there was, it was pretty good that, what a story you can tell just with characters on a beach, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. But anyway, halfway through this movie, I'm like, this seems like one of those silly M. Night Shyamalan ding dong movies, like with the strange twist at the end or whatever. And it didn't have a strange twist. It kind of ended the way it should have. It was cool.
Was it an M. Night Shyamalan?
Sure enough, it pops up at the end, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, oh man, got me.
It's like good. Wes Anderson. You can't not watch a Wes Anderson movie and say, "Yep, that's Wes Anderson."
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so that's all I really was watching last week. I tried to watch a version of Doctor Strange, but I didn't feel like watching people get up during the movie and walk down
I
the
don't
aisle.
know how you do that, man.
Nah.
That would drive me crazy.
I did it for the Batman, and the Batman was actually just some of the cams have gotten a lot better than they used to be. But
I don't care. I would know. There's no way I would sit through that.
Yeah. So no, I didn't. I
I
watched
would
the first
smash
like
my
2
TV
seconds.
and burn my house down if I had to watch that.
You would not.
I would.
They played that movie on an airplane. I'd get up and walk out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so in feature flight, in feature movie or in flight movie is the cam version of Doctor Strange. Sir, where are you going?
We went.
All right, well, don't spoil it for me.
I'm not gonna spoil it. Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up. I'll quit the show.
Shut up.
It'll
Damn
be
it,
you and
Kevin.
the 4 listeners.
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I mean, my review for all the Marvel stuff since like I don't know, Endgame is like it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's fun. I mean,
right.
Did you watch Moon Knight?
I did. I watched the first like maybe 4 episodes, and then I got so lost. I was like, I gotta go back and rewatch it.
I watched the whole thing, but
the first episode was really good. I was a huge fan of the comic book. I was
really?
Man, if this takes off, it'll be great. I'm probably the only one that has these damn comic books.
You may be. I'd never even heard of it actually.
But then I don't know. Then that's how he kind of was in the comic. But then like the 3rd episode, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Like I can't even follow it.
Yeah. Well, I will say Oscar Isaac is absolutely fabulous, like fantastic. Like great acting. Second to none.
I've seen him in so many he's one of those guys that take on a role like I mean you might think Russell Crowe's a douchebag, but I always bring him up in this respect because man, that's a guy that completely changes his physical nature, like everything about him to become that character, and that's really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen him in the.
Go ahead.
I've seen him in several films, and like especially the latest 3 Star Wars movies. He was in that, and
yeah, he's great.
I've seen him as the villain in movies. Mm-hmm. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, yeah. I think he did a really, really good job. Ethan Hawke, absolutely fantastic in that role. I really enjoyed him. But the entire show, like with all the Egyptian gods and all this stuff, I don't know. I don't care. It just seemed to go on and on. So I'm kind of medium on that one. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way you are. After Endgame, and maybe it was
everything's been like it's been okay. It's not. I will watch it. I enjoy watching it, but it's not like Iron Man or
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, Kevin's favorite movie, or some of those things.
Or like Ragnarok. We're talking about
Thor Ragnarok or Guardians or those movies.
Maybe we'll see
really fun.
What'll happen when the next Guardians of the Galaxy comes out.
Or, the next Thor coming out this summer, which is another Taika Waititi. I'm looking forward to that because he does a good job.
But yeah, I mean, my kids went to see that 9 Rings movie, the Chinese one, and they said it was fantastic. And I watched that, and I was like, yeah, it's okay.
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I mean, it's not great, but it's fun, and I enjoyed it, and I liked watching it. But
those are the movies I call like your typical Saturday night movie. Like,
yeah, if it's on the TV and I'm surfing through, I'll sit there and watch it.
Right.
But I don't know that I would pay money again to go watch it.
Not like a blockbuster.
Actually, I don't think I paid the first time for that when I waited till it came out on Disney, but still. Oh.
Yeah, so we just derailed the whole podcast, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's okay. No, who's going to stop us? No one's here.
Nobody's here. Yeah, we can talk about motorcycles next if you want.
Sure. What do you want to talk about? All I know is about dirt bikes. I don't get on the road.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I actually don't know anything about
There's enough helicopters.
Last motorcycle I had was like 20 years ago.
there's enough RC podcasts and helicopter podcasts that talk about motorcycles now, so we don't have to worry about that. Like, somebody else has got us covered. All right, let's move it on to news and announcements,
All
dude.
right. News
And announcements. All right, you're gonna do everything? Okay.
No, I'm gonna do news and announcements. You're gonna do and.
Okay. All right. Okay. What do we got?
Well, I only have one thing, unfortunately, and that is a Brain 2 / Icon 2 new firmware and Windows and Android and all that stuff apps. This come out, let's see, where are we? We're up to 3.4.059. Come out on the 11th of May. They added the decoding the new Platinum V5 protocol, or I guess they added the Platinum V5 Hobby Wing protocol for the telemetry and stuff. So that's important if you're flying a Platinum V5 150 amp Hobby Wing. So that's cool. They added some diagnostic stuff for the YG, Contronic, Scorpion, Platinum V5 errors, where it says ESC low voltage protection, ESC over current protection, ESC over temperature protection. I guess that's an alert that'll come up in your log, make it easier to diagnose stuff. And then just a bunch of other random stuff and updates. So maybe check into that if you fly Brain or Icon. I kind of like to throw these out here because if you're like me and you use integration with a radio like Jetty or Spectrum or some of the others, you may not even know there's an update unless you happen to be online or see it somewhere. Because I never plug mine into a computer, so I never know. There might be an update that you want to check out. Cool. So check it out. If that interests you. Look who we have here.
Who do we have?
And that's how you sleep into a podcast.
All right.
Wow.
We're about to wrap the show up, dude.
We were convinced that you quit the podcast because I made fun of you.
Absolutely not. You kidding me?
I'm quite relieved, quite frankly.
After 80 episodes, I still haven't quit.
All right, good.
No, I got home, went to take a short nap before the podcast because today was it was busy, and did not even hear my alarm. Just blew right through it. So.
Okay. So Ian, are you ready for your tech tip? We're right here at the segment.
Oh,
we
are
back up just a little bit if you got a tech tip for us?
No, we actually moved on to news and announcements.
Oh man.
So if you want to save it, you can save it, or you can.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and save it.
All right, you can keep what's in the box, or take what's behind door number 1, or you can sell what's in the box for door number 2 or door number 3.
We'll go
on. All right. So what's next for you in the hobby, Andy?
What's next for me? I don't want to be a Steve Shaw and say I'm going to finish this heli. So I'm just going to say I might possibly work on my V2. I really, really, really need to get outside and do some flying before I forget how, which I may have already forgotten how.
Damn, dude.
But I'm starting planting soybeans tomorrow. So I can't say whether I'll do much RC. I've been very wrapped up with the farm stuff the last, couple months, really. So kind of got to do that, but I'm halfway done with the spring stuff. I'd say a couple more weeks I'll be getting finished up probably. So I'm going to say all that to say what's next for me in the hobby? Probably nothing. But maybe something.
But maybe something. Okay.
Or maybe nothing.
Ugh.
Or maybe something.
All right, dude.
What about you, Kevin? What's next for you?
Well, you brought up the firmware upgrade and made me think of integration between my V Control Classic and my my ESCs, my Hobby Wing ESCs that I have.
Yeah.
And I got to look into that because both of my V-bar things that do the telemetry, I forget what the hell they're even called now. They're in line with the batteries, and everybody's probably yelling at their radio or yelling at me right now.
The sensor that you hook in.
Yeah.
UI sensor.
UI sensor. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's like not working on either model now for some reason. And I get partial telemetry on one of them, and one of them's completely dead. So I want to see if I can do that with the Classic. And I've said it before that I've heard it can be done, but I don't have the V Touch, which I know it can be done on that. But it seems like making that cable up's pretty easy, and I'll just have to see if I can update maybe the ESC on one of the models and try it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
This weekend in general, though, is going to be up in the air for me. Recently found out that I got a hole in my radiator in the Jeep, so I gotta replace that bad boy. I got that coming. That should be here tomorrow, and that doesn't seem like it's gonna be completely, ridiculous to do. But these, last one I did was on a 1990 Toyota, so that was like 4 bolts and it came out. Like this, I'm sure
it won't
there's
be
gonna
that easy. I'm
it's
sure.
not, no, it's not gonna be that easy. But Jeeps, made to take apart.
It won't be as easy. What'd you say as a
1990 Toyota.
Yeah, it won't be as easy as a 1990 Toyota, but I bet you it'll be easier than a 2022 Toyota.
Yeah.
I imagine that Jeep's pretty simple up in the front there.
Yeah. I mean, I can pull the entire grill off.
Yeah.
I've already had the one top cover off because while I was looking for the leak this weekend, I was like kind of glad it was north of the equator a little bit, as far as being past the engine and the water pump and all that. And I'm like, okay, it's leaking out of the bottom here. Yeah. And my overflow was full, but yet the radiator was like leaking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so it's leaking out. There's no pressure to suck anything back out of the
I was going to say with the leak, can't suck that out. Well, right. I could just give you some chewing gum you could stuck in there.
Yeah. Fix it. I could pour that bars leak in and completely screw up my motor. I don't know. I don't want to do that. When it's $100 for a radiator, I'm like, I'll just get it.
No, I know. I'm just teasing.
So I'm going to be doing that one of these days this weekend. Hopefully I can get that all done and wrapped up and then get to the field and maybe get some more flying in.
Yeah.
But the wife is coming in next Tuesday, so I probably won't be doing the podcast. I'm not sure. I got to see what time she's flying in because I might be able to do it and just leave like around 10 or so to go get her. Well, we'll see, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that radiator, I noticed with even my Jeep, a lot of stuff with that kind of looked intimidating. It's like, I think it took me like an hour to switch out the water pump when the water pump went out in the Jeep. It didn't really take much at all to do it, even though it looked like it was gonna be a pain in the ass. But even when doing that, I think like the worst part of it is getting the fan off because it was on there good. But otherwise, it was like smooth sailing. So I
don't mind doing that kind of stuff because the Jeep's paid for, So it's like, well, I'm not paying any payments. I'm not paying $300 a month in car payment, and I know that people pay a lot more than that. But I'm like, all right. So
I would suggest you start on it early Saturday morning, so that you have time to go to the auto parts store when you break something or
right.
The bolt breaks or whatever.
I can literally
don't start till like Sunday afternoon to start on.
No way. No, I got to get this done. I got to
actually start Friday night, honestly.
I got to pick up Hurricane Joanne next Tuesday, so I got to get this done, man.
Because no matter how simple the job is, you're only one broken bolt away from a freaking nightmare.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Strip threads. Whatever.
So what are you going to be doing, Ian?
Me, gonna be working like crazy, and
don't you say Discord?
I'm always on Discord. But yeah, Discord. I'm gonna try to get some wrenching done. It's like I've got an EOC for my 420, so I'm gonna try to get that operational. I'm gonna try to do that Friday while I'm on Discord because yeah, I bought two of the Hobby Wing 100 amp ESCs and I had nothing but problems with them. But I ended up
Really?
getting one from Steve and gonna see if I can get that one going. I don't know if I hooked it up wrong when it came to the two that I got or what's
Yeah,
going
you
on.
had the old V3 100 amps.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those. I never had any problems. So I
Yeah,
think they were
I
pretty
don't know
decent.
if I did something wrong or whatever. I know one of them got like stupid hot, just as I plugged it in on the bench, like touching it, I burned the
Yeah,
shit out of
that's
my
not
hand.
good.
Yeah,
Did you buy
that
them
one.
new or
No, I got those used.
maybe they were damaged or something?
I'm thinking one of them was damaged and the other one I probably hooked it up wrong. I don't know. I had one of them working, but it wasn't working properly. So I don't know. But Steve went ahead and sent me one, and we're gonna try and get that going because I've got the Fun Fly up in Nebraska here in 2 weeks. So it's like
Okay.
rotors over the corn. So gonna go up there and have a good time. So I'm just trying to get everything up and ready. I know next week, probably just before next week's recording, I'll be doing a parts order so I can get some stuff going. And on top of it, I need like glow plugs, blades for the black nitro and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a decently sized order and get everything I need. I do intend to bring at least 3 or 4 birds up there. The the Nitro 580 won't be ready by the time that event comes around. But so it's like, eh. So I still also have to get some fuel and stuff like that. So I've only
See,
got like about a gallon worth of fuel, and I'll be taking like 2 nitros up there.
see, this is what I like about Iaen. He's not promising the world. He lays it out. It's not going to be ready. Not. You'll see it. It'll be ready. It's practically running right now.
You'll see it when it's finished.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice, dude. Nebraska is. I've been in Nebraska one time, man. I was stationed in the Army in Kansas, and my sergeant in charge, his family was from Nebraska, and we went up there for Thanksgiving or one of the holidays, and I was like, "This is like being in real America." I was like, "Holy cow! This is like everybody was super nice. The classic farmhouse, the table going from the dining room out into the living room, like it was too cool, man."
Yeah, and as it stands right now, I've only been to Nebraska once, but that's because I missed my turn to go to the Council Bluffs, with the rotors on the river. Because
Missed his
I
turn and
they
ended
had
up in
just
a
done
different
like
state.
it's like you needed to be in this lane. They had just got done changing up the whole interchange right there, and I was listening to the GPS, which they hadn't updated since putting in the interchange. So it's just like fuck, just going all the way into Omaha, which in order to turn around, I had to like get off at the exit, to go to the Omaha Zoo. So it's like I know where that's at because you can't miss a big ass aviary that you can see from like a mile away. Um, but yeah, it's like I just had to loop around, turn, go back the other way to find my exit. So,
Cool.
which this year, rotors over the corn, which in previous years it was rotors over the river.
Are they gonna?
It's actually taking place in Waverly, which is just outside of Lincoln. So, and it's not much longer a drive. I think it's like an extra 20 minutes.
I wonder if they have corn up in Nebraska. But they're just planting it right now.
Probably. I think they might be like a month ahead of like what you would be doing.
I don't know. Most of the Midwest is behind by a good bit right now due to weather.
True. It's like tonight. We're
But
actually
I don't
supposed to
know.
get a shitload of
If
storms.
they have corn, it's gonna be really small corn, Ian, like this tall.
Like
grass
baby
clippings.
corn. The Chinese put in their food, the baby corn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Baby corns. All
right,
right, cool.
All right.
I took Kevin's words straight out of his mouth.
Right out of my mouth. Right. So we're gonna do the wrap up. Oh no, we got listener pipeline, don't we?
Yeah.
Do we?
No, we have no listener pipelines.
How
What the
dare
hell,
you?
man?
How dare
the
you,
hell?
listeners?
I know. It's kind of just boiled down to like one guy that calls us every week, but he did call this week, so I think Kevin must have made him mad or something.
Well, he's retired now. He's got all this time.
He's got all this extra time.
So he can't call. Yeah.
Oh, he's wrenching.
Kevin made him mad by snoring during his practice flight, his F-3C flight.
Yeah. He didn't like that. All right.
He
so
turned around and was like, "What'd you think of that?" Kevin's like, "All right." So are we wrapping it up or
yeah, let's wrap it up.
not?
Wrap it up. I'm gonna uphold my end of the bargain and read Podbean, just so I'm not behind.
I thought you read Facebook comments.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do that though.
We don't know the Facebook likes because that's what Steve does, and quite frankly, I'm too lazy to look them up. So we'll save that for him. Maybe we'll have more likes next week. Do you want to go through the Facebook comments, Kevin, since we have like a whole lot of them?
Yeah, sure. If I can figure out how to get there, I'll get there. All right, here we go.
Did we do the one with this meme about golf carts from Iaen last week? I don't think we did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
No, I don't think so either.
But I want to. Okay, so it says still no golf carts at IRCHA. RC Heli guys take it to another level. Hashtag Muncie 500. And it's a picture of a car, like a four-door sedan, in a sand trap on a golf course. And the text says, "When your car identifies as a golf cart." But my question to Iaen is, where did you get that there's no golf carts at IRCHA this year? Because they do have golf carts at IRCHA.
Oh, do
Different
they?
vendor. Yeah. Like, did you look or ask anyone or?
No, I just wanted to make it funny.
Okay.
And he's just stoking the
You
fire.
could have posed it as a question. Like, are there going to be RC golf carts at IRCHA? All right, never mind. Go ahead.
Well, Andy, is it going to be the same person? The
no,
same lady?
different vendor.
Ah, okay. So that's good news.
Yeah, that's really good news.
So Kyle Spiegels said, I'm strongly considering bringing my golf cart to IRCHA this year. Post a cell number and have my wife be an Uber golf cart driver for donations for the week. Ooh. My wife
Yeah,
is actually
still do
pretty
that.
excited about the idea. That's a pretty damn good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. You could definitely do that.
If I had
Last-
a golf cart and a brain, I would have thought of that. But I have neither.
I could give you a golf cart, but I don't think I can help your brain situation over there.
So William J. Braun, no relation to the paper towel, he said, Kyle Spiegels, that's a fantastic plan. I thought about doing that with my truck. Steve Yoon says, Kyle Spiegels, that's a great idea. I'm sure folks would love it.
It is a good idea.
It is
You
a
could
good
definitely
idea.
do that. I know they're going to have golf carts, but I have a feeling they're going to be more expensive. So you might not want to. Might be easier to give somebody $5 to drive you from one end to the other than to rent one.
All right. And the next meme I got here from the Meme Meister is don't forget to join us on Discord. And there's a little how we fly on the sim and how we fly in real life. Nothing could be further from the truth.
They fly on the scent, and the guy's doing 3D like a foot off the ground, and in real life, it's just a crash.
And Jason Falcon said, so true, just like racing. If you ain't crashing, then you ain't racing. Or used to say Rubbin's racing. Tim Proven says crashing is what keeps this hobby going and manufacturers in business. No shit. Justin Wyatt said, not much crashing if I'm pure flipping the sim and tail in hovering in IRL. or IRL. Darren Beebe says, why is that? And we have any more? My thing does not list them correctly. Oh. Lou Mazurek says, right. And William Anthony said, yep, so true. And on the last episode, Dan returns. So great talking to Dan K. Reed from RCHN. We had a few comments. Jason Dutton said, love listening to Dan again. Married. Wow. Well done. Son. Dan Balrigan said, missed you today, Steve. Posted the video. Justin Wyatt said, with 13 episodes of RCHN left that he's going through listening, he said this was awesome to hear.
Nice.
Sean White said, great episode, Dan. JR parts and kits are available at www.dforce.net. And left a link to that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
That's cool. I didn't know they had kits, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually very awesome to see. I took a look at the website too, and they've got a lot on the site, so definitely worth checking out if you got an old JR sitting on the shelf collecting dust. It's like, yep.
I think Steve Shaw has like a couple of these brand new in the box at home. So
sure
if you need parts for that, go get them now before Steve gets wind of it and goes there, buys it all. And the last one is from Dan Balrigan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but great tip on this one. My friend, in quotes, would like to know more about Headspeed next time, like how to program it, gear for it, and shit. His 700 Raw has been rebuilt using Switch 693s, Hobbywing 130, X-Nova 425, 530 kV, 12S, HRB 4000s, and 21 tooth motor pulley, maximum RPM at 1675. Like I said, asking for a friend.
Dan, I would suggest you go listen to our episode about gearing.
What grinds my gears?
That was. Yeah, grinds my gears. We go over all of that, exactly how to calculate that. Or send me a message and I'll help you figure it out if you like. Why is that funny, Kevin? I'm trying to help someone out. You're very snickering. I'm going to smack you through this internet.
Now that's funny. What are you trying to make me quit now? You're gonna get on my case?
No.
Yeah,
never.
I didn't think so. I'll walk away from this microphone right now. All right. So I'm going through my glove box, just I don't know, looking for I don't know what I was looking for. A Sharpie or something. I was gonna draw on Steve Shaw's head while he was at the field. And I found this RC Heli Hooligan sticker, and I posted a picture of it, which nobody commented on. And then Ian started stirring the shit or shoveling the shit or whatever you want to call it by posting a picture of like a dustpan and the proper way to handle each episode of the Helihead show. It's like he's scooping up trash.
Yeah. It'd been better if you was throwing that in a trash can. That'd have been better. But yeah, this still works.
Darren Ankeny said shots fired. Chance Lavin said savage LMAO. Daniel Turek said, what a shit show, huh? And Chance said, we love it. Scott Graham said, oh my God, or OMG. Eric Shue said, dang. I said, oh damn. Angelo Almasari said, Dem's fighting words. And Daniel Turek said, ha ha ha, Ian be fighting by himself and still wonders why he's losing. I don't know. Maybe he needs to find the correct tool.
Oh.
Stay tuned for the next tech tip. Daniel Turek also said, LOL, one man's trash is another man's gold. Sorry, geez, I can't talk anymore.
Or read, apparently.
Or read, or both. I'm better off the cuff. Ian Joel said, Dan, I don't know. You may have to consult your doctor and get some sunburn cream because that's going to sting for a bit. And Dan said, you haven't learned anything about us, have you? Ian said, I'm not sure. What did I miss? And Dan said, apparently a lot. Jeez. I'm surprised Kevin McGregor
We got
didn't
no
jump on board
comments
here.
on your cool ass sticker. We got 16 comments about this dumb meme.
Right.
Pretty funny.
That's just it. You know, you don't know who your governor is, but you know who sang "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." Carrie Brooks on the next one, which is, I don't know what is that, Ian? Pumping shit out of a trailer?
I believe that's Andy pumping shit out of a trailer.
It's a trailer dumping the tank with the heli head sticker on it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you take that picture, Andy?
I think Steve did, but yeah, somebody did. That was Urcha.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Carrie Brooks.
Where did you get this picture, Ian? Why did you post it?
I don't remember.
I did not give you my permission to post this picture.
You must have legal written permission.
Take it down now.
Damn.
Right now.
Okay.
All right, so Carrie Brooks said, wow. Gabriel Sandoval said, let's get ready to rumble. Jake Winger said they found a way to make biofuel? ? Chance Lavin said, damn, the savagery never ends. Justin Mahoney with a Ron Burgundy. We are laughing. Bill Anthony says, is that a tech tip? And Scott Graham said, LMAFO, Jesus.
We're all ridiculous.
You guys are ridiculous.
Oh, you are too. You're part of the crowd.
Listen, I really like those guys in their podcast. I don't listen to it as often as I should because I have a 20-minute commute.
What do you think of my shirt, Kevin?
Oh, God. I didn't even notice Helihead's shirt. It looks pretty shitty. Bump. All right.
What the hell, man?
And then Ian posts a ridiculous picture of, I don't know, what am I supposed to be looking at here? This is what nearly perfect CG looks like. No propping needed.
Yeah.
Ian, could you take a freaking golf club and clean that table off first before you take a freaking picture?
Shit.
Holy cow, dude!
That's the only time I've been able to actually.
Around.
Yeah, that was the only time that I was actually able to prop up the NX4.
Look how many pictures of this he has. He's really proud of these, upside down balancing tricks.
I think it's a good act, but when you post pictures like this, everybody's zooming in on those I'm gonna choke my ex-wife gloves you got on the table there. The dollar store
if the glove
plant.
don't fit.
Right. I mean,
got
the
some
armor
sort
all.
of dream catcher in the background. What are you, some sort of mystic?
Where? This was at the old house.
Do you have an Align? Is that what's upside down here?
The Align and the NX4. Matter of fact, the first time I actually did that was the one where you see
answer the question. Is there an Align in this picture here?
Actually,
on top, is that the NX4? Is that the Align? That's the NX4, isn't it?
Which one? On the old table that's covered full of shit?
My God. Yeah, okay. Now I got it. I see the NX4. But I see Align. Oh, my God. Now I'm looking at this other picture.
With the china cabinet.
With the china cabinet. The freaking please keep the coffee cups off the credenza sign you got in the back there. Now it's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's... Did you just go around the neighborhood balancing this thing on
it looks like it.
I took a few pictures, yeah.
Oh, is that where you...
Yeah.
Oh, and there's you.
Look at this one where he's pointing at it. He's so proud of himself.
I know. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, there's CG, guys. Matter of fact, after I switched up the ESC, I could never do that again with the 550X because I switched it up to a Castle 120, and after that, it was always slightly on the nose heavy side. So, but that was with the stock motor that comes with like the Dominators and the Castle 120, and then I was using Pulse 3000 milliamp packs. And then, of course, running V-Bar Neo. So that was all I had into that machine, but it's just, the matter of positioning my components inside of it that I was actually able to CG it out the way I wanted to. But with that bigger ESC, I got it like close, but it would never do that on the head ever again. The NX4, I could still do it.
All right, cool. I'm still mesmerized by this picture.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'll read these comments.
Go for it.
Kevin McGrady's, they seem out of order. Kevin McGrady said, glad Steve Young got you straight on your own tech tip. EP Watson writes, guys, could you start putting the timestamps of the tech tips in the show notes? It would make it easier for me to skip past them. And Steve said, can't really do that because we don't know when until it's being edited, and said, use your podcast app to jump ahead 15 or 30 seconds. And then EP Watson replied, thanks, Steve. I guess the only option is for Iaen to actually know what he's talking about. So the tech tip is an actual tip and not a painful and embarrassing experience for everyone. Damn, that's hard.
Savage.
Dude.
Well,
I don't disagree with him, but
in Iaen's defense, the last tech tip he had was a complete joke because Cliff Lewis was busting his balls, right?
But did Iaen know that?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, okay.
The one about the fuel tubing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this one, the CG one. That was the last one, right?
Yeah, the CG was the last one. But the fuel tubing, that one was a complete joke.
Oh, CG, right. All right, and defending the entire podcast, if you're coming to Freefall RC for a ginormous, like, oh my God moment in this hobby, like as far as a tech tip, I don't think that's right either.
No.
I mean, listen to a few episodes. We're complete idiots. Well, some of us are. I am. Iaen is. Andy knows what he's talking about. Steve kind of knows what he's talking about. I just know don't fly into yourself.
I think we're all idiots.
That type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, we're only hobbyists. I'm not a professional.
By no means.
I'm only slightly enjoying this hobby, and that feeling's dwindling every Tuesday.
Oh. In our listener post, Chris Rybert posted up an unboxing video of the Nimbus 550.
Yeah, it was good to see him getting back
into
our
page and check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah. Good to see it, Chris.
Get him sitting there with all those willy-nilly planes on the walls behind him.
Yep.
That dude's a building maniac. He's the exact opposite of Steve Shaw.
He builds a shit we don't even hear about.
He builds like half dozen balsa planes every winter. Seriously.
Oh my God. Steve is going to hate us after this episode. I mean, even more than he hates us now.
He already hates me, so who cares?
Right.
We love you, Steve.
What the hell, Andy?
So messed up. All right. What's next? Website comments? I don't remember seeing any, but let me check while you do People of Podbean, Kevin.
All right. People of Podbean. We had a few people start following us. NIGE. I don't even know. Want to attempt that one. And Whippy8V started following us. And MyStar60 liked episode 317, Going the Distance. Heliman liked episode 321, Charge Me Up. And J.W. Cruz and Alan Jenkins, Terry Music K, and Mike Welch all liked episode 325, Dan Returns.
Nice.
And that was it for the week. So thanks, guys.
We did not have any website comments, emails, except a bunch of junk emails trying to get us to join services that we don't need.
No, did you delete that one from Heliheads? Subscribe to our podcast. You delete that one?
Yeah.
All right, good.
No, I hate when we get these emails. You could tell it's like a form thing. It's like, I've been listening to your podcast and I really dig what you're doing. I could help you make, tons of money with sell advertisements. I'm like, you've never even heard of our podcast. That probably goes out to everyone with a podcast.
Right.
So shut up and leave me alone.
That's all right. Ian, your next job as part of the crew is to respond to that email and tell them, shut up, leave us alone.
Alrighty.
All right. iTunes review, you ask?
Do we have any iTunes review?
We do not have any iTunes reviews.
Oh, we don't? Well, I'm just going to reinforce the last one that we got.
What's
today? How about that?
Wait, we don't.
Today's May.
I forgot what month it was.
Well, I was just gonna reinforce that we have another 5-star review from March that we probably read in March from TGM618 entitled "Great Job, Guys," and he says, "Y'all knock it out of the park each week and every episode. Keep up the good work."
He clearly doesn't listen to every episode.
And I just want to add, suck it.
Oh shit.
Suck it, Hellies.
Yeah. Screw you guys.
No, I love those guys.
No, screw you guys.
No. I can't say that to a bunch of guys I would definitely take out to dinner and have, enjoy myself, having a good time with, which we've done several times.
Would you take them out to dinner? There's like 30 of them now.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well,
it's like a rotating cast.
I would take out. All right. So if it was my 3 favorite Heliheads guys, I would take out Scott Graham, Mike Sobey, and probably Kyle Stacy.
Maynard.
Yeah. I would take those guys out.
That's like 5 guys.
That's your favorite Heliheads.
My 4 to 5. Yeah. My 4 favorite Heliheads. Those.
Oh shit! Are we about done with this train wreck?
We're done. We're done. Oh, we're so done. No, I love you, Dan. I love you, Kevin. Those guys are great guys.
I love all those guys. They're the best.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Check them out.
All right, you gonna read this whole thing, this outro, like Steve, super fast?
How am I reading? Like Steve, super fast.
Maybe Ian should do it.
Oh no, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
He's still half asleep.
Ian just woke up. All right, so thank you, Mr. TMG or TGM, for that great iTunes review. And if you would like us to read your iTunes review, just drop us an iTunes review and we'll read it on the next episode. You can email us at freefallrc@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com, freefallrc podcast. Check out our webpage, freefallrcpodcast.show. Say hi to Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Rybert. We're on the flight test forums. I think I haven't checked in like 6 months. Off the field audio video productions other than flight test podcast, Freefall RC podcast, and that's all put there by Dave Hill, aka Hill the Flyer, who's been doing it for the last like 3-4 years. So thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, to be fair, we haven't checked. David might not even listen to the show anymore.
Right. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I see him posting things.
He may have got mad at all Ian's tech tips. Quit.
Yeah, he might have rage quit.
Rage quit listening.
He's
fuck
one of the many rage quit listeners that we have.
You rip your earbuds out and throw your phone across the room.
If you're a rage quit listener, drop us a email and let us know. We would love to hear that story.
Oh shit. Yes.
I threw my headphones out the window.
I
While I was
so mad
driving,
I
you
threw
got-
my
you guys
phone out of the
suck.
car, and now I don't have a phone.
Yeah. So if you're tired of listening to us, you can listen to a bunch of other heli podcasts. The Helihead podcast. I don't want to hear from you guys. Maximum Collective podcast, the Telerotor podcast, Skids Up podcast.
Wait, is Telerotor and are they archived now? I mean, they haven't come out with any new episodes. What the hell?
I think they're grandfathered in for at least a year. We'll talk about them. Skids Up you can listen to, and you can hear the one and only Steve Shaw from like 6 to 8 months ago talking about all the stuff he's going to have ready.
Yeah, that was funny.
for-
All the things he said he's going to have done, he's still not done.
I
He's
think that's what they're
absolutely
holding out.
definitely going to have it done before spring fling. Definitely. No, shit. Back then he was talking about Winter Bash. He's definitely going to have those in the air before Winter Bash.
The gasser, yep.
That was 6 months ago.
Still on his bench.
Dude, Steve is going to drive by my house and shoot at me. That's how bad we've been ripping on him this show.
We kind of have. Sorry, Steve.
What the hell,
Sorry.
Andy?
Sorry, Steve. We hope you take this
What
as
the
fuel
hell, man?
to get into that hobby room and get some shit going. Get some shit going, man. So you can also listen to Inverted Down Under, Houdini, RC Heli Podcast, RC Roundtable, RC After Hours, Park Flyer Podcast, RC Plane Lab, all things that fly. And if that hasn't poisoned your ears bad enough, you can also watch Bill Iaen on YouTube. Bill Iaen, and he's all about helis and news and cooking. Guitars, tanks. The one video is hysterical, though, on Facebook where he's sitting there playing his soul out, and the camera pans to the right, and there's Chris Diamante and I think Kyle Stacy, and they're on their phones. Like, they're not even listening. I was like, oh, man. Poor Bill.
Oh, Bill's the best.
Bill is the best. And the worst. All right. So, thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks to all our listeners. Free our skies. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.